Welcome back to Good Day Atlanta. I'm Buck Lanford. Now the latest on this morning's top stories at 8:30. Starting tomorrow, the FAA is planning to cut 10% of flights across the country because of staffing issues in response to this ongoing government shutdown. It says the restrictions are needed to maintain air safety as controllers have been working without pay since this shutdown began. Atlanta Public Schools officials, they plan to shut down or repurpose 16 schools to close a massive hole in their budget. The proposal would save the district around $20 million a year and about $65 million in maintenance costs. There will be a final public meeting about this plan on December 3rd. And breaking news in Southwest Atlanta, fire crews are trying to figure out what sparked a fire at an apartment complex on MLK Jr. Drive. We're told at least 8 units were impacted there. Good Day's Lindsay Tooman joins us live now from the scene with the very latest. Lindsay, good morning.
Good morning to you, Buck. And at this time, the fire is out. It's all about making sure any hot spots are completely gone, under control, and also getting to the actual crux of the investigation. So we saw within the last 5 or 10 minutes, Georgia Power also got here on the scene. We see that pretty typically during these kind of fire investigations, making sure that the power is out while they can go in and clear out the building, make sure that everything is completely under control. So what we learned from Atlanta firefighters is that they got the call around 6 o'clock this morning, and when they got on the scene, they found a 2-story building engulfed in flames. Firefighters really quickly jumped into action. They did what they call an aggressive approach, making sure their firefighters actually went inside to ensure that there was nobody inside those buildings and to start putting out the flames immediately. By 7 o'clock, they had it completely knocked out. There were some road closures in this area, especially Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. They had 2 lanes closed while they had all these crews come in because they did call in some extra crews to help. Roads are pretty much back open. They have a small section of roadway right outside the apartment complex, still blocked off with just 2 fire trucks now at this point. They do tell us that there were no injuries, nobody had to be rescued, no one was taken to the hospital, and again, really crediting that fast response from firefighters to get this under control and calling in some extra help to make sure they had all the resources they need because of the size and scope of the fire. Take a listen.
It's our protocol when we have a certain amount of fire involvement in a certain size building to call for a second alarm to ensure we can overwhelm the scene and have relief units.
Yeah, and they certainly had those resources in place just in case they should need them. Again, 8 units total impacted by this, 4 of them impacted by fire. The other 4 had some smoke and water damage. At this time, it's not clear how or exactly where the fire started. They did call out arson investigators to look into that. That's just standard procedure. As soon as we get an update on the exact cause of the fire, of course, we'll let you know. For now, that's the very latest. Reporting live in Southwest Atlanta, I'm Lindsay Tooman for Good Day Atlanta.
Patients are recovering this morning after a Georgia state trooper ended up in a multi-car crash. This happened yesterday. We were learning where it happened. According to GSP, a trooper was trying to stop a driver in a stolen Kia 4. The driver took off on Redan Road heading east near Mill Lake Drive, and that's when that Kia veered into oncoming traffic and hit a Nissan, spinning the car into the trooper's path. Now, GSP tells us the person who was driving that Kia ended up hitting another 3 cars before finally coming to a stop. A total of 4 people were taken to Grady Memorial Hospital. Officials say they also found a stolen gun inside that Kia. Developing news out of Kentucky, the death toll in that cargo plane crash there has risen to 12, and officials expect that number to grow. The crash happened earlier this week at a UPS shipping hub in Louisville. The NTSB says as it was taking off, the left wing caught fire and an engine fell off before exploding. The fire took out multiple nearby businesses, and right now it's not clear what started that fire. But investigators were able to recover the black boxes that should shed some light.
We have identified the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder. This is what is commonly referred to as a black box.
It is a miracle that it wasn't worse. They responded and put that fire out by midnight, and that's incredible.
The plane was bound for Hawaii, packed with 38,000 gallons of fuel. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear says an emergency fund typically used for natural disasters will help cover funeral expenses. experiencing the longest government shutdown in U.S. history, but there are some signs that negotiators could be making progress. Some lawmakers say they're cautiously optimistic a deal could be reached by the end of this week, but the Democrats claim it all depends on the White House. The Trump administration says it won't spend all of the contingency funds to keep SNAP benefits flowing, causing many recipients to worry about putting food on the table, at least for this month. This comes even after federal courts ruled the Trump administration must at least pay partial benefits. 42 million Americans who rely on food assistance to afford groceries should expect half of what they typically receive, or maybe even nothing at all.
If they cut it out, I'm like, what am I going to do for food? Oh my gosh. How are we supposed to eat? How are we supposed to survive?
The Center for Budget and Policy Priorities found about 40% of households that get the maximum level of food stamp benefits could see their payments slashed in half. Those with some income could lose a larger share, with 1 to 2 person households receiving $12 and more than 1 million households not getting a cent. To get more insight into this and what it'll take to bring the ongoing shutdown to an end, Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene will join us live on the Fox Local app. You can tune in this afternoon at 2 on fox5atlanta.com. Again, the free Fox Local app or the Fox 5 Atlanta YouTube page.